All right, this is Alt Beer, and we are here for the Badge Team weekly stream for May 9th. Have a lot of exciting stuff to go over tonight, and we'll start with making sure I'm actually streaming. 1 second. Twitch has some lag to it, man. Yeah, it looks like I'm streaming. Okay. So, we are going to start by talking about the Indiegogo campaign for our badges. We wanted to do a pre-launch page. That way we could start the pre-launch hopefully by tomorrow or maybe even tonight if we can all agree that this page looks cool when I review it. We'll go ahead and launch it tonight. And then I believe we can have it run for a month, but we're not going to run it that long because I really want to launch the campaign on June the 1st. That way, if we run the campaign for like 18 days, it's 2.5 weeks. That would be, let's see, that would end the campaign on like June the 19th. And that would give us time to use the money from the campaign to order all the things we need to order. Some of the more expensive things like the PCBs in bulk. Some of the stuff we've been ordering out of pocket already because of the long lead times, like the LiPo batteries. I've already ordered over 200 LiPo batteries. So, but yeah, the campaign... we want to get a lot of traction over the next 3 weeks. That way on June 1st, people will be ready to actually sign up. So I'm going to walk through the preview page, and then we'll walk through what I've set up for the campaign already. So this is a preview of the pre-launch page. So basically I did this little graphic, and I'm calling the campaign because last year we named it after the one badge. Well, this year we have 2 badges and SAOs, so I just called it Badge Life Wearable Art by Alt Beer for DC32. And I call out that there's 2 different badges, several SAOs, and people could sign up to watch the page. And then I go into some details about like the Cowboys versus Dinosaur badge. I give some of the 3D images and some of the CAD drawings from that one. And then since Godzilla Versus is still conceptual, it's a lot of conceptual artwork on that one. And that's really it. That's all there is to it. Now we do have, let me go back to edit mode. In addition to that part of it, we have a discussion page that we can open when we do the pre-launch. And of course it didn't save my thing. Let me upload the image so you can see it. Let's see, discussion. Here we go. And it's the same image as before, it just says ask us anything. And it'll have the same title and description. So as people log into the page, they can ask us questions and we can answer them. So that should be visible to everyone. That's why it's called a discussion, so everyone can see the posts and the replies, and hopefully that'll help us get some engagement with this. So when we get that launched, then we have some time before we launch the campaign, but I still wanted to set up some of the basics of the campaign. Alright, so there's the campaign image. So I threw some tags in there. The duration 18 days. I guess my question to you guys on the badge team is that too long? Is that not long enough? I think last year we did 2 weeks, 14 days, and I wanted to do a little bit longer than that, but I didn't want to push it as far as 3 weeks because we need to get things done sooner. If we want to do a 3-week campaign, we might have to launch it before June 1st. So what are you guys thinking on that?
I don't see anything wrong with this length.
Okay. All right, this sounds good. Let's see some of the others. Oh, I got a couple on text saying 18 days is good. So let's go to the content. We have our pitch image, and I started filling out some of the story details. Yeah. Basically talking about what it is we're doing, how long we've been doing it, what we need, how much we need. The 9,000 is our goal. How we want to do this many badges and SAOs for that money. If we get less money, we are going to still try to produce badges. But I indicate that when we raise less money and make fewer badges, as the quantity gets smaller, the cost goes up. So there is a cutoff, and I called that out as like 4,500. And even at that, we're going to try to make every effort to fill the sponsor perks. So that's kind of worst case scenario stuff here. And then what the sponsors can get. So I called out low level perks, which would be items like stickers or a single SAO. Mid-level perks, which would be like a single badge or the badge SAO bundle that the Godzilla badge will be, or higher level perks, which will be multiple badges in a perk. You can buy both badges and SAOs. Then we talked about the ship to me option, so we're going to have a limited number of ship to me perks. And I decided to do this as a separate perk. That way it could be an add-on to any of the other perks. So let's say we believe that as a team, we can handle shipping 50 or 60 or whatever the number is, right? That's how many ship to me perks will do. And then if somebody buys a Godzilla badge or they buy whatever, they can also buy the ship to me to get it shipped to them. Once this number is exceeded, then they can't buy any more ship to me. Then the only way they'll be able to get their other perks is by in person via the ticket system. And we can adjust this as we need to, and we don't have to come up with the numbers today, like how many we think we can do. But this allows us to do some shipping without overwhelming us all with 200 shipping orders, right, that we can't fulfill just because there's so few of us.
Question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to make the ship to me perk, like, can you do a coupon code sent to people who donated or did the last Indiegogo?
Well, coupon for last Indiegogo would probably be something separate. It wouldn't be the ship to me. So I think that we could work out maybe some type of a discount code or something that if somebody supported us last year, we could do that for them this year. But since I hadn't even looked into that, I didn't put anything like that here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's as far as I got. And this is the base text where they tell you other stuff that you should put in here, but I haven't gotten beyond this point. So, and then perks, obviously I didn't fill any of that out yet, so we need to create those. I did set up under the badge team. I set up Rex and Sapien as badge team members, so or as campaign members for the Indiegogo campaign, so they can help with the day-to-day updates and whatnot after the launch, and maybe help prepare this stuff. But the goal for tonight is this pre-launch page, because we don't have to have the campaign ready to launch this page and launch the discussion, to get that discussion going and get that into people's hands. That way they can see what it is we're producing and when we're going to have product, and I was looking for maybe put June 1st. Like if we think June 1st is a good launch date, maybe I can put that in here. Like, don't miss the launch on June 1st. Something like that. Do we think June 1st looks like a good date to launch? Any issues that people see with that date?
As long as you list whenever they'll be shipped out, and people don't think they'll be shipped out on June 1st.
No, I don't think anyone's going to think that, because this is the launch of the campaign. So this is a preview page for a campaign that hasn't even launched yet. So I don't think there's going to be any confusion about that. And as far as the shipping, once we launch the actual campaign, we'll be able to send updates on a weekly or daily basis, however often we need to. So good psychology because it's the first day of the month. Yeah, I thought that too. That's why I liked that idea. All right, so let me save this real quick since I just edited that. And they have this video URL thing, and I know I want us to do a pitch video for the campaign, but I didn't think for the pre-launch page we would need that, so I just kind of left that blank. So let's look at the preview again. So basically this is what the page will look like to people. They can sign up. Yeah, it has the June 1st right there. It has the 2 different badges. Yeah, so I think that should work for us. Did I save it? Let me save it. And then after we launch that, I think is when I can launch this. Yeah, because it keeps nuking this because I haven't launched the other page yet. I don't think we can do the discussion page until we get the main page going. So yeah, if you guys like this, then I think we are good to launch this page, and then we can start sharing it out on social media and everywhere else. So, and that's the thing, I don't think it even gives you an option. There's no option to do a custom page link here, where like on the campaign you can actually give it a custom URL like to use, but this is going to give us a URL, and it's going to just, we'll have to share that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit publish, and let's see what happens. Oh, wait, before I do that, yeah, okay, I don't need any of that. Let's view the pre-launch page. Okay, that's kind of an ugly URL, but I'll paste this into our badge chat. Okay, so now we have a pre-launch. So now that that is there, let's go to the discussion. And where did my text file go? Yeah. Okay, and then upload that image. And then I can enable it now. Okay. So let me copy these 2 links. to my notepad so I don't lose them. I'm sure I could find them later, but it's probably 10 times harder to find them later. Okay. Yeah, and then I will paste that into our meeting chat as well. So that's the discussion page.
Hey, Albert, take a look at the top right in front of the June 1st. It said launch N.
Oh, instead of on. Shit, it's a typo.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay, now checking.
Okay, I guess I gotta republish it. There we go. Yay. All right, so we have our pre-launch, and now we can start working on the campaign stuff, filling this stuff in, and we have a few weeks to do that, so I'm not too worried about that. But one thing we do want to start doing is sharing out this link with everyone on social media. I'll probably wait until after this badge meeting to start doing that since I'm online. I don't need to be wasting time with that right now. So let's move on to our next topic. And our next topic is the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs badge. So I guess I'll start really quick by giving you a status of where we're at with the badge. So the PCBs have been on order for a few days now, and I expedited them and they're shipping out. I should have them in hand next week on the 14th or 15th. And then the lanyards were supposed to be here on the 11th, day after tomorrow, but there was a delay and they're saying the 14th. So I should have lanyards and PCBs by the 14th or 15th. And then I have all the other stuff in hand, I think, to make the 30 badges, because I got 30 PCBs, so that's 30. At a minimum, we need 25 for the 3000 Society Con, and then the other 5 are for the badge team. So I assume we'll be making all 30, and we'll probably look to do that sometime right after I get them. So maybe like Friday the 17th or Saturday the 18th. If we could just start pasting days and times that would be good for you guys on the badge team to be able to come to Allen, Texas, and solder a bunch of badges in my house. Let me know and we can schedule it, because I should be available all that time because my family's going out of town, so I won't have to worry about coordinating with other family members or anything. The house will be empty. So it's just a matter of when can the badge team make it over here. So let us know what you think, and then we can schedule it and do a solder party. And really, even if we only have, like, let's say 3 of us soldering, that's not that bad. If it's 30 total badges, it's only like 10 apiece. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad. So, all right. So one person said Friday the 17th. So yeah, we don't have to decide that today. But yeah, everyone, if you could post your availability in the Discord, we'll figure out a date and time and then be able to do a solder party. And it may not be 30. If I get the things on the 14th, I may start soldering them up on the 14th and 15th and 16th, and I might have half of them done by the time we hit Friday. So All right, so now with that, we know we have components. I think I have all the other components. I'm going to do a double check. The only thing I might be missing in quantity is resistors, and those I can order from Amazon and get them quickly, so I'll do double check of that stuff. So really all that's left is code, and that's why I have the code up on the screen here. Now I just started editing this because it looks like the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs code that I had in there was just some test blink some LED code, and I wanted to get some more complex code in here. So I started reusing code that I wrote for the Blue Team Village badge. I stripped out all the screen stuff, and now it's just got like neopixels and regular LEDs and capacitive touch. But obviously all these pins are wrong, so I'm going to have to redo the pin numbers and get everything according to the Cowboys versus Dinosaur badge. But this should get us started as far as having all of the basics for setup, the basics for capacitive touch setup. It goes through everything we should need. And then it becomes a matter of, after we get through the setup and we do the loops, what do we want it to do in these loops? And the way I've been doing that is calling out functions. So like I have the title neocolor shift. In our case, the title is going to be the table. I'll change that to table. So that'll be in the center table, shifting the colors there. So all the functions are at the end of the main line. So if we skip here, you'll see all the functions. So you'll see I have some wireless ones. I have some LED ones. One of them just turns all of them off. And I'll adjust all these for our pins and LED numbers. We have PWM ones, and then we have, here's the neopixels, so there's the color shift and how it does that. And it's just doing it using math. So basically the gist of how I do the mainline code, and I'm open to suggestions if you guys have another way. But in the main loop, so here's our main void loop, I do a for loop that uses I going 0 to 255, right? Or actually it'd be 0 to 254. So 255 iterations, basically. And then of that, I break it out into 3 sections because with the neopixels, you have 3 colors. You have red, you have green, you have blue. So I want to have like red turn on while green is turning off, and then the other 2, and then the other 2. So that's why I did 3 sections for that. Now for some things like the PWM LEDs, they actually need a division of 4 because they're going to go slowly on, then slowly off, then slowly on, then slowly off, right? That's 4 transitions. So for that, what I do is the very last section, the last third of the 255, I break in half for the PWM pins. So basically they're going to have 2 slower transitions of on and off, and that's like right here and right here. And then they'll have 2 slightly faster transitions of on and off. This way it keeps it all working pretty nicely, and this is basically the whole meat of my main line right here. And you'll see I'm calling it POS. POS is just the position. I make that equal to I, and that's so that I can reassign POS without messing up the for loop. Because I'll say like POS is equal to this minus 85, minus 170. That way it's always dealing with the lower section. But yeah, take a look at that, see what you think and this is mainly for those that are going to be working on code. Obviously not all of you are working on code, but I know Sapien and Censored, you two were going to be looking at code. I haven't actually pushed this yet. I'll get this pushed before the end of this call. And then you can take a look at this code just to see if you understand what it is I'm doing here. See if it makes sense to you, and if it doesn't, or if you have a better way to do it, by all means, rewrite it. I'm not married to it. It's just this is what worked easiest for me.
No problem.
Yeah, and it's because I when it comes to dealing with the on-off shifts and stuff like that, I'm a math guy when it comes to that, and it's easier for me to deal with math like this and to figure out the math in my head for the transitions than it would be to do it in another way. And I know there's a lot of ways to do it, so I just happen to do it a math-centric way. So yeah, and you can see when you get to the functions how I'm actually using that. So yeah, so I'm using that POS number to actually do the red, the green, and the blue values for each of the neopixels as it goes through. So yeah, basically what I want this thing to do. So yeah, let's talk about what's not in the code, because right now it's just kind of boilerplate. Let me pull up an image of the badge, and we will speak to it from the badge image. Where is that snapshot? Snapshots. Okay, this should be a good one. Yeah, let's pull you here, make you big. All right, so this is going to be the badge. We'll have LEDs behind these 4 suits. We will have 5 neopixels behind this table. We'll have 1 neopixel behind this. We'll also have 2 LEDs behind the dinosaurs' heads. So basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 traditional LEDs and 6 neopixels. And that's what we have to play with. Now, as far as buttons, we have this little logo is 1 capacitive touch button. The 3000 is another. The Society is another. Cowboys is our 4th. Dinosaurs is our 5th. We have 5 buttons to do stuff with. And then this particular LED here, that's going to light up the 3000 Society. My plan is to use that LED as a mode indicator. So we can have a default mode that the badge is running in, where it's just kind of color shifting the table colors and maybe pulsing on and off with PWM, the suit LEDs and the dinosaur head LEDs. That'll be our default mode. Just looks pretty, right? But then if we press and hold any of the buttons, like long press them to put it in a different mode, that different mode could be a game we play, right? It could be anything we want. So like one of the things I was thinking of was just a simple random suit decider, right? If you put it in the mode to decide a playing card suit, it'll light up the 3000 Society light, let's say red, so we know it's in that mode. It's no longer color shifting. And then when you're ready to roll a suit, you can press a different button. Like let's say the button I pressed to put it in that mode was the logo. I'll press the 3000 to actually roll my suit. And it'll do an animation to where it like lights up the LEDs across all 4, like bip, 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 and it starts fast and goes slower and then finally chooses one, right? We can do a quick random number to choose one ahead of time and then just do the animation with the LEDs until it lights up that one. That could be a cool thing that can be used for people just to face off and say, assuming king would be the highest, let's see who can get the highest, right? Another thing we could do would be doing something with the middle things, the middle LEDs. We can have a mode where we can actually change the colors of those up and down and shift them using different buttons, because we have lots of buttons, right? So let's say we press and hold to put it in the color adjustment mode. So now my 3000 Society LED over there is lit up blue. So now I'm in color adjustment mode. Well, it's going to start with all the LEDs white, right? So now let's say I have 3 buttons. I can press each button that corresponds to red, green, and blue and adjust the red, green, and blue to where I have it displaying just whatever color I want. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out. So little things like that can be very easy for us to show off the badge without a lot of complexity. So because for this con, I don't think too many of the people at this con are going to be into like doing puzzles, hacking the badge, anything like that. So for the most part, we can leave the Wi-Fi disabled, and just focus on the LEDs. And then when we start to move to the DEF CON version of this badge, at that point we can start adding modes for a Wi-Fi puzzle or something else. So for now, though, just to keep it simple, to get us some basic functionality for the con, just think about what we can do with 5 buttons and 12 LEDs, and let's start building some stuff off of that. So, questions on that?
I'm good.
Cool.
I'll take his stuff though.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'll get the code pushed by the end of this call, and then you can look at where I'm starting from. So yeah, we talked about components. We talked about the solder party. I'm not sure what else we have to talk about there. Does anyone else have any ideas or things that we need to talk about the Cowboys versus Dinosaurs before I move on to Godzilla? All right, then let's move on to Godzilla. So Godzilla, and actually I'm gonna forget, and I don't want to forget, so let me just do this real quick. It takes it a minute. Come on. Oh, my VS Code is bogged down by extensions. I've been testing out different extensions and I've slowed it down. I need to rip a bunch of them out of here. It's too slow. All right, well, that's loading. Let me get the, where was that Discord page for Midjourney, where I had pulled up a cool idea. Oh yeah, this is the one. Let me open that in a browser. Okay, it looks like this is done. So let me do this real quick. So let's see, git pull, git add dot, commit, oops, forgot the space, there we go. All right, so that code's up there now. All right, so Godzilla versus. I was thinking of how I could shape the badge, and going through different images in Midjourney gave me this awesome idea. And maybe we talked about it before and I just completely forgot about it. But I thought we were talking about like an egg shape or some other kind of shape. And looking at this image, the first thing that came to mind was this would be a cool ass shape for a badge. Godzilla's face staring at you, right? Now imagine the inside of the badge is the Tokyo, and we have Godzilla blowing fire, and we'll have our place for our shitty add-ons for the monsters he's going to fight there. But at the top of the badge, we can actually have the eyes and maybe a little bit of the text of the head, to where we can light up his eyes here, and we could have a Godzilla within a Godzilla. We could have the face is the shape of the badge, and maybe some details of the face that you can tell it really is the face. And then in the body of the face, instead of the big mouth here, this is where our art would go of the Godzilla blowing fire and all that stuff. You like it?
I like it.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I hit this image that it came to me, because all the other images that I was pulling up were kind of crap. It was all side views or doing things like off to the... But once I got one that it was actually looking at me with his mouth open, I'm like, oh shit, that's it. That's the badge right there. All right. So I'll start working up some edge cuts for this based on this this design. And let's see, as long as you have a little spike on top of the head, you don't even have to put... Yeah, you wouldn't even need the eyes because you'd be able to tell from the spike on his head. But yeah, I do like the idea of light up eyes, so it'll be cool. Yeah, so if I start working up edge cuts, then we can start working on art for it. Because honestly, if we're going to launch the campaign on June the 1st, I want to have a prototype of at least the badge PCB, if not the SAOs, by June the 1st. And I know that sounds aggressive because that's less than a month from now. But we got to prototype this one. The Cowboys versus Dinosaurs, that one, this badge that I take to this con is kind of our prototype, because we have time to run another one if we need to, if something's not working the way we like for DEF CON. But this Godzilla badge, we got to get a prototype run before June 1st if we want to have time to correct and do a second run after that. So, all right. Then as far as electronics for this one, I haven't even the faintest idea what I want it to do yet. I've been playing with different ideas, but Cowboys has eaten up all my brain cycles. One thing I did want to try to do, though, is figure out the spacing. So, like if we have the SAO and it plugs in, is it going to be enough spacing? And I'm going to hold this up to the camera. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. I think without proper measurements, just eyeballing it, I think it's going to be about 2 millimeters short. If this had come all the way up, then... Oh, I can measure it. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Where's my tool? All right, let me zero it. We'll measure exactly how high it is. It's 7.8 millimeters. Not bad for an eyeball. I was just 0.2 millimeters off. So yeah, it's 2.2 millimeters shy of us doing what we want to do with it, where we wanted to have the SAO plug on top. But I had an idea for that too. If we made it a cutout area of the badge to where the SAO can actually sit recessed, it would probably be about even with the PCB, because we would have the part of the female, or it'd be the male header, would raise it about 2 millimeters. So the actual PCB would be about even with the main badge PCB. And it's going to be a sandwich badge, right? So if we had just a cutout area to put the SAO, like off to one side, we would cut out part of his face and then do the artwork on the backboard for that instead, for when nothing's plugged in. It would look kind of odd, but maybe if we do a similar cutout on both sides, it could almost look like his cheek lines coming in or something, right? We can work it out to where it looks like part of the face. Then we could have the SAO plug in there and it would fit, because it'll be at the same level as that PCB. So we'll have to take some detailed measurements of our SAOs and that void that we're going to create for them. And I know some of our SAOs that we want to do, we're going to have wings and big things. And all we'll have to do for that is make sure that part of the SAO fits within the void, and then the part that's hanging off the edge, that's where you can put your big wings and everything, because that doesn't matter. It's hanging off the badge, right? So we'll have to do some measurements there. But did I explain it right? Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Typing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, basically it would be just a smaller cutout, and it would mean our SAOs would be kind of pushed to the side of where the SAO connector is. It also means that for this badge, it might have trouble fitting other SAOs on it that other people make, because unless they fit within our void, they won't fit. They won't plug in. So that is a downside, but I think it's a minor downside when this badge is coming with the SAOs for it. So the smaller header at the bottom of mail pins will make up for the 2 millimeters. Yeah, because the SAO has its own header on it, right? And it's a plastic connector that has a piece of plastic at the top as well. And so that's going to raise it about 2 millimeters. And that way, the actual PCB part of the SAO will be about 10 millimeters from the bottom of this connector. So that's where, when I was doing the measurements, I'm like, it's going to be about the same distance as we have between our two PCBs on the main badge. So the only way to make that work, unless I find a way to raise it 2 millimeters, is to cut it out. And it actually might look cooler that way, because then the SAO, once you plug it in, it'll probably be flush with the badge, and it will look like part of the badge. If we do the measurements right and do the cutouts right, we can make it exactly flush to where when you plug that SAO in and you're looking at it, it's going to look just like flush with the badge and part of the badge, and you won't know it's an SAO unless you pop it off and pop on another one. Yeah, lots of measurements needed for that, and luckily I have lots of PCBs with SAO connectors on them that are sitting in boxes, and while it might be sacrilege to take a big pair of dikes and just start cutting them up, I will do that. I will cut a big chunk out of one and plug another one in, and we'll do measurements that way. So just old school, cut up some PCBs and do some physical measurements. Whatever works. That's right. That's the hacker motto. Whatever works, right? Cool. All right. So we talked about this. Now, SAO stuff. I know we got art for Mothra. We still need some other art. I don't see the offline. Yeah, I was going to say our other artist is offline, so I can't ping them on this. I'll follow up later just to see if we can start getting some of the SAO art worked out. Because I'd like to ideally have 4 SAOs that are tied to the Godzilla badge, 4 specific Godzilla monsters, and then a bonus 5th monster could be Hello Kitty. We could do the SAO for Hello Kitty as a separate SAO that is not part of the Godzilla badge package, but will be available for us to sell, that people could use it on the Godzilla badge. That way it can work out pretty good. So, because I think that'd be funny as hell to have Hello Kitty fighting Godzilla. got? I got Hello Kitty underway. Yeah, Hello Kitty wins every time. All right. So, other questions? Anything else we need to talk about? I know things are moving kind of fast, and I'm talking kind of fast because I do that when things hit crunch mode. So I don't want to steamroll anyone. You guys have questions? Everyone know what needs done? Cutesy art, one of the other monsters. Yeah, I'd be willing to look at it. I know we did a cutesy Mothra, but maybe a cute one of the others could be good too. But I want to definitely have some evil ones too. So I don't want it to be all cutesy monsters. And then for the Godzilla badge, electronics wise, I don't know what I want it to do. And other than light up some LEDs, what else can we make it do? What would it be cool to do? Start thinking through that, because if it's something that we need electronics to make it do that thing, then we need to know as we're building out the PCB. I mean, we want it to light up lights, sure, we could do that with any lights, right? But I'm talking about something more than that. Like maybe we want to use the GPIO pins of the SIO instead of just the power to be able to have it recognize which monster is which. That way we can have it do specific light patterns based on what it can read off that SIO. That was one idea that I had.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Yeah, because this way you don't have to worry about changing light modes or anything. It's basically whatever SIO you plug in there. If it reads off of if it doesn't read off the GPIO, it'll just do some default, right? But if it reads off the GPIO pin a specific value, which we'll have to figure out how we do that, then yeah, we can do different light shows and have Godzilla do different things. So that could be cool.
And so I'd love to see the nostrils light up, the eyes light up, and the teeth light up, right?
Yeah, that could be good.
What you reminded me of, though, I don't know if you remember, there's that badge that I think you could do different SIOs, and it was spreading herpes or something like that.
Oh,
You remember?
I don't remember that one. That sounds funny as hell.
It was. It was and well, and they had statistics about it afterwards too, because it was also communicating wirelessly. So if one of them got herpes, if you walk past it, I think the next one was getting herpes, and it was like there was a 20% chance of getting herpes, something like that. It was pretty neat. It was really fun, I thought.
So that's the other thing that we could do is have a fight mode between the badges. Like if we could figure out something with the wireless or the Bluetooth to have it recognize when another one of these badges is near it. It can enter some type of fight mode and maybe have the LEDs kick off a fight mode and determine a winner by some random draw or something.
Yep. Yeah, and treat SAOs like power ups.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could dedicate like 3 LEDs to a health meter, that it has a green, a yellow, and a red, and so it could have all 3 lit up at first, and then the green goes away when you lose a hit, the yellow, and then finally when the red goes away, you lost, you're dead. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be a meter that's drawn on the badge. It could just be 3 LEDs that happen to be close to each other that are neopixels that we can light up with the green, yellow, red while it's in the battle mode, right? So that could be cool. Show health and the fighting. Yeah, so think about things like that, because we'll need to start getting stuff like that in the code, but we have more time with the code than we have with the hardware. So if there's things we want to add in the hardware for this, like extra LEDs to dedicate to some health mode or something, or some type of a sensor, like, I don't know if we want the battle to include like like infrared sensors and infrared LEDs. I mean, that's been done before, but that's something we could do. Or we could just use the Bluetooth on it. So just be thinking through those things and see what ideas you come up with. Post the ideas here, and then we could discuss it on the next meeting.
Yeah, without the hardware, I think we're running a risk on the infrared. I mean, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi is easy, right? Because it's going to be universal.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just food for that. If we can get the hardware, then even if it's not necessarily the badge, just build it out. Then we can start simulating that and testing it.
Yeah, whatever we want to do with that. If we want to use something like infrared or something else, well, let's start getting some hardware to play with on breadboards and make it work, and then we can put it in the design of the actual badge. So
Yeah,
cool.
I like the battle idea though. That's another good one.
Yeah, yeah. We just got to figure out how the battle is going to work and how we determine winners and what it will do on the badge during the battle and afterwards.
Maybe it could also go to like a high score thing on whatever website.
That's true, but then it would have to connect to the internet to post it to a website, right? And
you'd also have to register it so people know who's over who's.
Right. Now, one thing that we could do is maybe have a high score counter that's shown on the badge, but even that, it doesn't have. I guess we could store it in ephemeral storage. I'm just thinking as soon as you turn the badge off, you lose everything, but we could write. We do have limited storage capability that we could write the high scores to where it would always keep that score. And every time you power up, it could show. Well, I don't even know where it show the score except on the serial if you plug in with USB serial, because we don't have like numbers on here that we can display anywhere because we don't have a screen. And maybe we do a screen. Maybe we get more of those round screens that I'm doing for the other badge, and we do that on here. I don't know. I think a screen would take away from a lot of the effects that we want to see, though.
Oh, if we were just trying to do a counter, I was thinking the old what are they two for?
The seven segment displays.
They just made the number 8. Like that's all the characters they could, or like.
It's actually easier nowadays to do a spy controlled display, because all I need is like 4 wires to it, coming off the PC, or not the dev board. I need 4 pins and I can control a display. Where for 7 segment displays, they require a lot more pins for control. I mean, you could build a circuit to make it have switches and whatnot to do it, but it'd be a lot more complex than just buying a screen. And we don't have to do the round screen we can do a smaller screen, but I just don't like the idea of a screen on this one. I just want to see PCB and glowy things, and that way the PCB is nice and flat on the front, especially if we're going to make it flush with the SAOs. That would be really cool.
Yeah. I think a big screen like the Routine Village badge would take away.
Yeah. All right, well, that was it for tonight, I think. That was all I had. So be sure to share out the links. Let me pull them up again. On all your social medias. So here is our main link that is for our pre-launch page. We'll share this out with everyone, and they can sign up and start preparing for our campaign on June 1st. And yeah, the other one, I think I'll link that one to discussion, but it's on this page, so we don't need to link the discussion thing because it's right here. So really, this is the only link we need to worry about, that first one. Cool. All right, last round for questions before we wrap.
That was good.
All right, guys. Rex, I will ping you offline to discuss campaign management. It probably won't be until like Monday, Tuesday next week, but maybe let me know when you're available and we could just have a one-on-one, because I want to walk you through the Indiegogo stuff and have you help set up the rest of the campaign page. Cool. All right. Well, I am going to stop the stream for anyone watching, either now or on YouTube later. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at DEF CON and getting these badges into your hands.